So Jay, now I have a follow-up question because I remember you talking about indicators yesterday,
Yes, of course.
and you said how you trade with the indicators would make sense. Now, so in that moment when you find the swing highs, right, and you close above it, and then it comes back, would you then want to use like a volume profile indicator to look at who's at that price when it comes back to then make the trade?
I'm not necessarily going to look at a volume indicator for who's in charge of the inventory. Volume indicators are only going to tell me how much inventory is at play.
Okay.
Good question.
So what indicator would you say to use in order
My
to
favorite indicator, favorite indicator is the candles.
Okay. All right.
I don't want you to think that anything's weird with that. That's just what I believe. That's the best thing to trade with. Because the indicators have a tendency to lie, especially if you don't know how to use them properly. You know, like what's your favorite indicator?
I would say the 200 moving average.
Okay, cool. So do you understand why moving averages happen?
Not necessarily.
Okay, cool. So that can be a thing, you know, like if you have a gun, that's good. But imagine you look down the barrel and squeeze the trigger. You just killed yourself. You see? Like if you're going to use a tool, we have to understand when it's best and why it's best to use it. After all, we wouldn't try and screw a screw in with the back of a hammer. That's not a good tool for that.
That's true.
So a moving average, what it does is go back 200 periods in your case. It goes back 200 candles and calculates the average of the candle. And then what it does is dictate or draw that out for you to see. By its nature, then it will be a dynamic indicator, meaning it will move. But the other thing that it will do is lag, because it always has to quantify what just happened in order to tell you where the average is right now. Because every time there's a new candle, there's a new calculation. Because it only looks back 200. So every time you print a candle, we got to get rid of the last one, re-quantify, add them all up and divide them by 200. Make sense?
Yeah.
Now, the cool thing about moving averages is that all you need them to do is be flat. Once they're flat, they can transverse. And once they transverse, because mathematically, moving average, you understand what an average is. Like, just think about the scales of justice. I can teach this to you later, but think about the scales of justice. You can't roll from the top to you can roll from the top to the bottom, but it's hard to roll from the bottom to the top. In order to get the scales to even out, you got to put more weight on the top side. And once they're flat, then it's easy to transverse. That's how averages work in math. If it's leaning one way, it's hard to get it to go the other way until you get the other side to level out.
Oh, okay.
You understand? So mathematically, the reason why averages work is just because if I'm leaning this way, it's going to be real hard for anything to get up. It can't get up. Everything's leaning this way. I need some people to jump on this side and level things out. Now I can get through the average. Make sense?